trash you the maid, so you back him. I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty, yeah. Hacking, stupid, what's happening? Bitch, what's happening? Bitch, I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Nadrika's Art. So today I'm gonna be showing you a sketchbook tour. It's halfway full. It's not full, but I want to show you it. So yeah. Okay, so first, I didn't really like the sketchbook that I bought because it has like these like thingies and it keeps on coming out, and yeah, that's the first thing. And I think my gut was just telling me to draw on this cover. Now, time to open the book. So the first thing that you see is a welcoming page and this. So here is telling you the due date and when you started, and here is just welcoming you. This is my 5th sketchbook, guys, and I'm so happy because my art has improved a lot. Yes, for real. So now I will talk to you about that later. So the first page that I started was this one. I asked my mom what I should do, if I should like let her hold the basketball or what, and she said basketball. So I did a little thumbnails, you know, I drew my little character here, Azulia, and here are the thumbnails right there, side. Okay, so here it was really difficult because I did not know that the pen was not water-based. I did not know that the pen wasn't like waterproof, so it kind of bleeded everywhere and then here. So okay, now we're here. I was just kind of like trying to do different mediums and trying to blend the color with watercolor, but here are some nice beautiful sketches. A nice teapot, a girl and another girl, but not in my style, and a flower, lavender. Now here, I was trying to do like body types and the heights, body types and heights, and I let my cousin write. And here's the date. Okay, next one. Okay, now this is zebra, and I did this in the night, so it was like a little bit, you know. So this is it. I kind of drew like a question thingy, but whatever. Okay, now this, I did Carmen. Here the paint kind of bled through the other page because I put some paint on the other page and bled through, and I wanted to didn't want it to show, so I whitened it, and now it looks horrible, but I still love it because Carmen is so pretty. I started off with her. I thought she was gonna be like a teenage theater girl, but I was like, you know what, let's do her as an adult. I did her like dislike and likes, and yeah, this is Carmen, my original character. Okay, as I said, bled through the paper, these are the paint, but they all got smushed up and went to this page, which you could tell, but I kind of, you know, yeah. Okay, so this painting was my first nicest painting ever, and I really loved it because it was a galaxy with mountains, and it kind of looked like a volcano, but it's mountains, so yeah. Okay, now this is not my drawing. I said I would never let anybody draw my book, but apparently I didn't listen. Okay, I was at a park at the picnic, and I just wanted to draw the view with my color pencils, so that is what I did. I was really bored and I had an art block, so I kind of just like drew a lot of scribbles. Next one, I was trying to do a different media, which is color pencils, and I think I was doing a good job with it. This is my friend and most of it, and some clothes that I didn't really like that I drew. Okay, next one, I drew like a lot of food items, so I could like, you know, get more better at drawing food. And paint, I kind of painted it in the dark and some of it in the light, but it came out good. My mom loved it, so yeah. Totally Spies. I've been watching Totally Spies now and I love it. So I decided to do fan art and draw them. And I think I'm gonna do good. Bye.
Asbury Park, Bradley Beach, Belmar, Spring Lake, Manasquan, Point Pleasant Beach, and Maida.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
we'll stick to good old faithful. We'll come up with our ideas in these first 2 pages, or I guess it's called the end pages. To keep with the purple theme of the sketchbook, I guess we could use a purple pencil. This is a purple Posca pencil. I know I'm gonna draw a character. Honestly, maybe it would have been cool to do something else, but we are going to be drawing a character. So first I'm just gonna like sketch out a shallow husk of a human being. We all know how that feels. That we can then add interesting elements to create a character design. This is my 27th sketchbook, so I definitely want to incorporate that into the design somehow, either in the outfits or just elementally. Abstractly, I don't know, in the background or something. Lots of possibilities here. I'm not ruling anything out. This is the early stages. Going into this, I will admit I had a couple of ideas rolling around in the old noggin. One was a headband, like a scarf, you know, tied up in her hair. And the other one was like overalls, or maybe like vertical striped. I might have a slight obsession with vertical stripes on clothing lately. We'll talk about it later. Yeah, it's kind of hanging out of the frame here, but this is my rough first idea. You can kind of see some of those things that I mentioned and how they're incorporated into one design, but it's also just kind of plain. I have nothing against this design, I just want it to be better, you know? I also was very confused about how this, like, what is it called? Like a scarf in her hair would really look, especially drawn straight on. So I turned her face into a that's the Doge. He's decided to eat now. I think he finds my voice calming, which thus encourages him to finally eat. I also experimented a little bit more this time with blocking out the hair and just giving it like a very unique, not realistic, but like unique. The character is going to become more unique and recognizable. So that's kind of like the attempt here when I'm blocking out the hair. Continuing with the character design, I moved on to a smaller version. This way I can really exaggerate the shapes and just see the overall design much clearer. You can tell that I'm like exaggerating the size of the overalls, and I kind of like shrank down the legs and then enlarged the boots. And it's just creating this like contrast in shapes, and this just makes the silhouette more recognizable. I do this a lot when I'm trying to design a character that's not just basic, which trust me, I settle with basic plenty of the time. Sometimes I just want it to be a little extra special. I also grabbed a Copic marker, a purple one, because I guess that's the theme, and I just kind of like added little blobs on the character just to like emphasize what would be purple, because when we go to the cover, we're going to leave the cover purple, we're going to use white, so we're only going to be able to color in the things that I want to be white. So I was using the marker to just denote what would be sketchbook. That makes sense? To further ingrain the design in my brain, I drew another one and just made little tweaks to things that didn't quite interest me, or maybe I thought I could do better. So I made the overalls even bigger and more rectangular. I kept the puffy sleeves, and I practiced drawing the headscarf bandana. It's a bandana! Really liking that one, so I moved into a larger version of the character so that I could then start adding in some details and well, that's it, details. The bigger you draw it, the easier it is to add details, because your pencil is not going to change sizes. So when you draw small, your pencil's going to draw big lines. When you draw big, your pencil's going to draw small lines. And that's the kind of expert knowledge you can expect on this channel. But with this larger one, not only is it going to have more details, but I'm also focusing a little bit more on the personality. At this point, I felt she looked a little bit like a gardener, or like a herbology student, or maybe Kiki's mom a little bit. I think it was the hair. So I'm really trying to just grasp at who this character is and how they present themselves. So I jetted out the head, crossed her arms, so she's very proud of her hobby. No one can tell her how to garden because she knows how, I guess, I don't know. But how the gardener idea really worked itself into this design was when I gave her some chunky gloves, which, it's I don't draw characters with gloves very often, and it's really cute. I'm quite happy with it. I also tried to incorporate the 27 onto the overalls, and I just really like that mixture of masculine and feminine in this design. It's really fun to draw. Not that I'm telling you have to draw this character, but you might not regret it. Now, when I added the stripes to this larger design, there are thinner stripes, obviously. We talked about this. Pencils look smaller when you draw bigger. Little refresher. But now that they were smaller, I was getting very strong train conductor vibes or something like that. And I'm like, I have never in my life designed a train engineer, conductor character. So that really sparked my interest, and I thought it'd be way more fun than just going with the gardener vibe. As cute and as warm as that is, I wanted to do the train, okay? So that's what I did. So at this point, I had a pretty rough character design, and I had like an idea or a hobby for this character. So I set out creating a little square and thumbnailing what our illustration will look like on the cover of the sketchbook. I tried to draw a train. I figured I could put the 27 like on the front of the train because it's sketchbook 27. So this is train number 27. Honestly, I'm kind of proud of how the train turned out because I didn't use a reference at this point. Because I do have a small train vocabulary. I even added a little cow pusher. I think that's what those are called. My knowledge is like literally from Thomas the Tank Engine. Anyway, the problem with this one was I didn't leave any room for a character, so I kind of just like shoved her in the window, hanging out of it and waving, which honestly is really cute, and I probably could have gone with this, but we go in another direction. So then next I thought I really want the character to be in the forefront of this. And what if they're like inside a different shape? So there's like a shape drawn on my square sketchbook, and then the character fits into that. So I kind of just sketched her out shoveling coal into the back of the train. I don't think that's the way trains work anymore, but it gave me like a visual idea, so that's why I drew it. And it had like the fire in the background, and I wrote sketchbook 27 around it, kind of like it was like a t-shirt design or something. Once I'd drawn it though, it didn't really excite me anymore, so we moved to another one. I tried just like a more basic design because I was feeling a little overwhelmed with the train conductor vibes. So I just kind of sat her down, but that's what I always do. I gotta kind of push myself. Right, so this is very much still my usual, my go-to, my simple, I just gotta make something idea. And honestly, I do like this one the best, which is probably why I always go with this. But I'm also trying to improve. So we gotta push ourselves, we gotta do things outside our comfort zone. You can't build a muscle if you never work it out. So I drew another little square and started working on a different design. This time, incorporating the character and the train at the same time and trying to make it look like they were meant to be in the same little scene together and not one character was just randomly shoved into the top sticking out the window like I forgot that there was going to be a character, you know? So I've got her kind of like leaning on the engine with the engine kind of at a slight angle, but I want the train to actually stay inside of the square and then the character to kind of break out of it. I do regret that decision just a smidge. I kind of wish I just drew all of it breaking out, especially this. Like how it looks right now, you've got the square and then the front of the train is sticking out of the square and her legs are sticking out of the square, but then the rest is kind of like pushed back into the square. I really do like that. So well. I switched to this blue Colorace colored pencil because it's erasable and the purple pencil that I've been using thus far isn't, and I thought I could maybe come up with a better idea if I just erased some of the things as I went along so that I could really pinpoint exactly what I wanted. So I set out to redraw that most recent thumbnail, but in blue and a slightly bigger, just a smidge. Because it was erasable, I was able to work out all of the kinks in her legs so that they looked a little bit more natural. So that I could like further that idea that I had where it's like contained inside of the square. But I also had to like draw the train outside of the square just to figure out where all of the pieces went, and then I like erased them afterwards. I thought this was quite cute, so I was prepared to grab a liner and just kind of block in all of the areas of dark, I guess. So for the final, we're going to have only two colors. We're going to have the sketchbook and we're going to have white. That's the plan, and that's the rule I set out for myself. So what I'm going to have to do is draw the inverse of what I usually draw. So like I would normally draw line art, which is usually the deep